welcome back to Provost Park Pass Podcast. It's been a hot minute.
It's been a long time. It's been a year.
Can you believe that?
A year.
Yes. Are you serious?
Yes.
Is that accurate?
I think it's been exactly a year. So we had, I guess this is what you can call our new season, season 2.
Season number 2. I like that.
Yeah, season 2. Here we are.
Oh my gosh. So I didn't even know this. What happened is that we got overwhelmed.
Yes.
We quit doing the podcast. We're like, hey, we don't have time for the podcast. We just kind of quit doing it. We really didn't think anything of it. And we had got notified a couple times about that it was popular in certain areas, but I didn't really realize how popular it had gotten.
Right. Sometimes I felt like we were just talking to ourselves and then putting it out to the universe, and it was going nowhere.
For sure. And so what happened was we got notified by Apple and several other podcast things, and they're like, you realize you were in the top, it was that top 0.25%, like 0.1, less than 1% of the top podcasts in the world.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, like for travel, you were number 1 in Canada. I'm like, we'd heard that. And I thought it was maybe like a one-time thing. Like, no, you consistently were number 1 in Canada. And in Mexico, you were in the top 150, and the United States, in the top 75. And I was like, what?
That's amazing. Well, that's a huge thanks to all of you. For all of our viewers and listeners that rated us a 5-star, thank you so much, and for listening and downloading our podcast. So as long as you continue to enjoy it, you give us those 5-star ratings and share us and download us, we will continue to produce more podcasts. Yeah,
we'll keep doing it. So anyways, but I have to tell you something here before we get started. Guess what? This particular episode,
so pretty.
We have a sponsor. Let's get right to our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by our go-to travel agent, Getaway Today. Yeah. So they are who we use to book all of our vacations, and they can book Disneyland, Disney World, Universal, Knott's, Legoland, SeaWorld, cruises, basically anything and anywhere you want to go, they can do it. And we've teamed up with them to give our listeners and our viewers the deepest discounts, the very best rates, so you can build your dream vacation. So we're here to help you learn about these theme parks, to create a wonderful vacation, and to save money.
But people want to know, they're like, but Amanda, how do we save money? What do they have to do?
Super easy. You just call them 1-855-GETAWAY. They are so friendly. They're going to be thrilled to talk to you. You just tell them that Provost Park Pass sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Yeah,
you'll get the absolute, we've worked out with them. If you call them at 1-855-GETAWAY and tell them Provost Park Pass sent you, you'll get the very best rates on your vacation, because we're trying to help people stretch their dollars, because it's expensive, and that's who we use. That's when we book our trips. We're using Getaway Today and literally calling them, and sometimes I even call them. I'm like, hey, Provost Park Pass sent me to get, so I want those discounts. But you guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast today. But you did mention they can even help you with cruises.
They can. Yes, they can help you with cruises. And
speaking of cruises,
the Disney Wish just launched. We are so excited for that. Yeah. We loved our Disney cruise that we did a couple years ago, and we are so excited to hopefully be able to go on the Wish.
I love that name.
Me too.
Say it with me. Wish.
Wish.
Ooh, say it again.
Wish.
Wish.
It's very Disney-ish. I love that name.
Disney-esque.
Yes, I love it.
I love it.
So when we were talking about the Disney Wish, we were talking about what is our Disney wish list? What would we love to see at Disneyland? Whether or not it's even feasible, what would we love to see in the park?
So for those of you who might be listening to our podcast for the first time, this is Amanda's baby. She loves the podcast. She comes up with the topics. She comes up with everything that goes on this particular podcast. And this is one of her very favorite things to talk about is Disney wishes. Like if you had that magic wand, that bippity boppity boop, and you go in and you could change Disney or add an attraction or remove an attraction, or what would you do if you had that wish power at Disney? I'm excited. I want to know what you got written down. I have some thoughts in my own mind.
Oh, I love it. It's really fun because Walt Disney said that Disneyland will never be completed. And so it's fun to be able to think of these little dream wish items that you would add to the park. I mean, if Disneyland stayed the same right now, I would still just love it forever. But having these new things come, it makes it so exciting.
Always changing. All right. So let's hear, what would be your first wish? If you could change Disney, we're talking Disneyland here today?
Yes. So today we are specifically talking about Disneyland and Disney California Adventure.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay, so the first thing for me, the Star Wars launch bay located in Tomorrowland. Yeah, there's that huge building, and it's changed a lot throughout the years. And right now, there's just not a lot happening over there.
No. In fact, I have a funny story about that.
Yeah.
You want to hear that funny story? I was walking around Disneyland. I was with a Disney Imagineer, okay? And I don't know if I should give names on this particular story. I was with a Disney Imagineer, and we were walking around just having some fun, and all of a sudden, a cast member came up. They're like, Provost Park Pass, and they worked in Tomorrowland. We were in Tomorrowland right in front of the Star Wars launch bay, right? And we were talking about it, and somehow the Star Wars launch bay got mentioned, and they told us, they're like, oh yeah, well, do you know what we're currently using it for? And I'm like, what? The Star Wars launch bay? He goes, yeah, but that's just on the first floor. He goes, because it's, it's 2 stories.
Right.
And he goes, on the second story, he goes, right now it's classrooms. It's for onboarding of new cast members. And when he said that, the Disney Imagineer, who does all kinds of things.
Yes.
I thought he was going to have a heart attack.
Oh my goodness.
He was like, oh my gosh. He's like, we're wasting that. Why are we doing
valuable
something?
Real estate.
That's exactly. He's like, this is valuable real estate. What are we doing? And so that was such a funny thing to hear that. So I love that. So I want to hear what you have an idea for it.
Well, that's adorable. I mean, it is being put to good use. We love the cast members. The cast members at Disneyland work so hard to really create that magic and keep it there and provide the guests, the best possible experience. So to hear that they're being onboarded there, I guess that's good. Yeah. They're creating some magic there. But if they were going to turn it into an attraction, there is an attraction that I would lose my mind over. So
I'm excited.
At Disney parks, there's not a lot of things that are very terrifying or scary. Okay. I mean, you can kind of get into that zone when you're Guardians of the Galaxy, especially when it's Monsters After Dark, which happens during Halloween time, like after 5 o'clock in the evening. It can be kind of scary, right? Okay. And then people can say that some of the rides are a little scary because of Incredicoaster, because of the loop. You could say, okay, that's a little thrilling.
A thrill scare. I think a thrill scare is different than a scare. If that makes sense. And then because you're talking are you talking like a little darker, like horror-esque?
I'm talking horror-esque.
Got it.
But I'm just generally speaking.
I should know we were going to get
Do you know where I'm going with this?
I think so, because I know you guys, when you look at dear sweet Amanda, you're like, oh, she's a little angel. She's so cute, so sweet. But she likes the horror.
Yes, I do.
She does.
I do. Halloween.
I should have known that we're going to be going there. I think I know where you're going, because I know what one of your favorite experiences was. It was that. This has something to do with anything with the Walt Disney World?
It does.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
It does. It has a lot to do with Disney World. So over at Disney World, there was an attraction, and it was really an experience. It wasn't a ride through. It was an experience where you sat in a theater and you were just completely scared out of your mind. And this was Alien Encounters.
Right.
Amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So you went into a theater. Yep. They had a little pre-show where they talked about the alien. Then you went into a theater and you sat in this circle theater. And in the middle, there was a tube. An alien comes out. It breaks through the tube. Yeah. The lights go out. You hear it flapping its wings, flying around the theater. You feel it breathing on your neck.
Now, this is a tactile show, so you would feel things. Like and they had sounds because it was in a circle.
Yes.
So you hear it over here, and then you hear it go over here on the other side. You hear it breathing, like they have like air puffs on your neck, and the seats would rumble and move around. So it was a very tactile experience, and it was terrifying.
And it was a lot of fun because it was very engaging with the audience. You would be sitting there, and the people sitting across from you would start screaming. And so you knew whatever was happening over there is going to come to you, and that would add to the suspense of what's happening.
I think that's a really scary experience when you hear other people screaming, but you don't know why.
Yes.
You're like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
For me, Tomorrowland, right? It fit in Tomorrowland at Magic Kingdom at Disney World. It would fit in Tomorrowland at Disneyland because you can kind of tie it into the future, right? The future.
Alien Encounter.
Aliens.
That's Tomorrowland-esque.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's that big circular building.
Theater.
I mean, let's do it. So for me, Tomorrowland, and I feel like it would drive a lot of traffic to Tomorrowland. This would not be an attraction for the little kids, but the little kids have plenty of rides. They have Dumbo they can go on. They're going to be just fine.
This is
teenage,
older teenager. What are you talking about? 15, 13 plus?
Oh, yes. I mean, I would love to make it very scary, but I know they probably have a line. They
don't want guests, like 18 plus?
They don't want guests complaining or being too scared, but it's a balancing act.
PG-13 ride at attraction?
Teenagers and up. For sure.
Okay, so that would be your first wish.
That's my first wish, is something with the Star Wars launch bay. And speaking of Star Wars, we have Galaxy's Edge now. I don't think we necessarily need more Star Wars in Tomorrowland.
You're talking about the launch bay.
Yeah.
Oh, because I was like, if you're starting to talk about Star Tours,
oh no, Star Tours.
I defend that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
But let's do something totally different.
Love it.
A little flashback to the past.
Love it.
In Tomorrowland.
That's a great idea. Like that's actually even seems feasible.
I think so.
That seems even feasible. So I like that. All right. Okay. All right. Moving on. Next wish.
Okay, so this wish is not so feasible. This is a tall order, and this is a lot. Something that I would love to see at Disneyland, and it's kind of on the same theme of something a little bit darker.
Well, are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, before we even get to that, though, which land is this in?
It would have to be a new land.
Oh, okay. Before we get to that, then, I got to say this, because I have a wish for Tomorrowland.
Okay, let's hear it before we move on to...
Because we don't want to leave Tomorrowland yet.
Yeah.
Because here's the problem we have here is Disneyland, the land's at a premium, right? You can't add more land. So we can either build up or we can build down. I'm thinking we go to Tomorrowland and we build up. You ready to hear this?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. I want Tron, the
Yes.
roller coaster.
Yes.
Okay? And in my mind, I have it visualized. It's outside. And what I want it to start. Well, I know you've got your little alien counter, but we'll just say that would be like the launching bay.
Oh.
I want it to go over the top of Autopia
You're
and come
kidding.
back. And then I want it to go around the outside. Hear me out. The outside of Space Mountain. So the track wraps around Space Mountain, and it lights up at night. Can you imagine at nighttime the Space Mountain is like lit up with bright lights? It's like, and then the white track of Tron is going around it, and like the light cycles are like, they're flying right by, and it would look so cool at night. And you could even have it where the old was that rocket, the Astro Orbiter? You know where it was in the center. Like the people mover launching loading area, you could even have it there go down the track.
Oh boy,
it would be amazing. I wanted to go all through Tomorrowland and have the Tron coaster. I want Tron. For those of you who are new, I am a diehard Tron fan. It's the best, and so I just think that they need to add that. We got to get it, and we really could add it above Autopia or take Autopia out. That would be the only thing. I love Autopia. That would be the only thing I'd take Autopia out is for a Tron attraction, and it would be amazing.
Wow, that is a huge order, but that would be amazing.
Yes. Okay. That's my wish. It's a wish. You said a wish. You didn't say realistic. You said it's a wish.
Yeah. No, these are wishes. Some of these are a little bit more realistic, and some of these are just a complete wish.
Yeah.
And then another thing I wanted to add is if you're watching this on YouTube, if you have a wish or if you agree with one of these or even disagree, let us know. I want
in the comments down below.
I want this to be very engaging. I want to know what your thoughts are with whatever we're talking about, or add something new.
All right. Okay. So let's go on. Okay. So now go on. You said you want a new land?
Okay. So we are leaving Tomorrowland.
Okay.
And this is one that is a wish, because where would you put this? And this, I really don't know, but I would do a brand new land.
I know what it is.
So this is a huge order. I don't even know
and
where
I
you
think
could
they could
put
do
it.
this because they're thinking about building that third land in where downtown Disney is.
Okay.
You could drop this right there.
Okay. So maybe that would be the location for this.
Let's do this.
This is something that has really never been done before, but there is so much potential. I mean, the potential is just limitless.
Right.
And that is a villain's land. A land completely dedicated to villains. Absolutely amazing. And the rides basically just set themselves up. We've talked about this before if you've been with us for a while.
Yeah.
I love Emperor's New Groove, right?
Amanda, really? Are you taking Emperor's New Groove? I had an idea for that too, but go ahead. Let's hear yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so this would be Yzma's New Groove, and it would be a groovy roller coaster. And she sets it up. I mean, her and Kronk set this roller coaster up perfectly.
1970s groovy?
Yes, where you get in,
right,
and Kronk pulls the lever. You hear her say, wrong lever. And then it either shoots you backwards or drops you.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely amazing. And then the rest is a roller coaster. And it would be really fun if they had fun, groovy music to it. So it kind of tied in her new groove. But
So
she's a villain.
You calling it Yzma's New Groove?
Yzma's New Groove. Yes.
Gosh, I love that.
Yes. And it would have to have either a drop that you drop down into, or it shot you backwards, or something kind of went awry because, you pulled the wrong lever.
The wrong lever, Kronk. Why do we even have that lever? So yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. And then what else would you have there in this villain's
Oh my
land?
goodness. The possibilities, they're endless.
Okay.
Another thing that I would love to see, you don't see this guy a lot. He's terrifying.
Okay.
He's terrifying. And it's Chernobog.
Okay. Yeah.
So you could have a mountain, a Chernobog mountain.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Chernobog is that big, huge, giant demon,
right? With the big
wings. Big wings and
Yeah, the glowing eyes. You can see it in Fantasia.
He could be the scariest villain.
He could be the scariest villain. And you could build a mountain kind of along the lines of the Matterhorn. Space, a roller coaster that's another mountain. So you'd be adding another mountain to Disneyland, but it would be a villain's mountain, and he could be in there kind of the same as having, the abominable snowman.
What if you change that? What if you change it to What if you change it to Hades?
Hades
Underworld. And they're going along and they're selling merchandise. They have merchandise like you're wearing his merchandise.
No,
is Hades?
No,
are you gonna? Oh no, you're gonna regulate Hades to like an eating place, like a restaurant, aren't you?
Okay. No, Hades would be a boat ride, obviously, because he boats through the underworld. So instead of Small World,
you go through River Styx.
Yes, Hades on the river.
That's so
easy.
good.
I mean, see these rides, these attractions.
It just writes itself.
They write themselves. It's so easy.
And what about Ursula?
Well, you can't forget about the little kids, right? Because maybe Chernobog is a little too scary. Maybe the kids won't be tall enough for Yzma's new groove.
48
So
inches.
for the kids, think Dumbo, but instead of flying elephants, Ursula, and you fly on her tentacles. And it'd be perfect.
And it goes around and around.
And it goes around and around like Dumbo, but you have her little tentacles that you're on.
And this, and by the way, speaking of, so Ursula's tentacles, how many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? 10 tickles.
That was good. That was really good. How do you have all of these jokes?
You know what?
You have a joke for everything.
I like the Hades Underworld boat ride.
Yes, and then Hades Underworld boat ride. And think of the food options. Some of the favorite food.
Poison apple. You have to have poison apple for sure.
Yes, you have poison apples.
Easy.
Amazing food options.
Oh my gosh. And I just got you could have a Gaston shooting, like a shooting exposition. Like, because he's got like shooting there. Be awesome.
Okay, yes. I like where you're thinking.
I like that. Yeah.
I like that. So really fun treat options, of course. Really fun food options, a villain's restaurant, character dining experience with the villains. I
got an idea, but I don't know if we would work now this day and age, but you could have Gaston's expectorating, I don't know, like you get it there and you have a little target.
Yeah, a little spit. I don't think so.
Something at it, like a little seed or something.
I don't think so. That one I'm going to say no. That one is not going to work in this day and age.
That one doesn't work?
No, that does not work.
So, but so far everything you've been doing is kind of on the scarier side.
I know. I don't know why I started with scary, but I guess I was feeling just a little...
You're a little anxious, a little getting excited for Halloween, maybe?
I guess so. I mean, Halloween time is coming up.
It's coming up. All right. So next wish.
Okay.
We've done Alien Encounter, Villain's Land. Boom.
Okay.
Third
this
wish.
one is not scary at all. Not dark and not scary at all.
What is it?
This one. All right. So when we were eating at Pacific Wharf just a little while ago, they have the Lucky Fortune cookery. And we used to love eating there. They had something that was very delicious. It was a coconut curry, and it was just delicious. You wanted to lick the bowl. It was too good. But they don't have a lot of other places where you can get Chinese food or Thai food or Indian food.
We are a huge fan in our house of Asian food and Asian culture.
Yes.
And I don't know if you guys know this, Amanda actually lived in China for 6 months.
I lived in China for a while, and yes, and Chris lived in South Korea for a few years. And so we would love to have more food options.
Yeah,
then
I agree with
that got me thinking,
okay,
let's go all out with this.
Okay.
The Raya experience during the Lunar New Year Festival celebration was beautiful. It was amazing. I mean, seeing her was beautiful. They had the beautiful lamps. It was just unreal. The lanterns was just beautiful.
Okay.
So I was thinking they are retheming Splash Mountain to be Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So that's going to kind of blend into New Orleans a little bit more.
Okay.
So what's going to happen with Critter Country? You have Hungry Bear Restaurant sitting there, and Winnie the Pooh and Pooh's Corner.
Right.
And the Hungry Bear Restaurant is not our go-to restaurant when Chris wants hamburgers. It's actually Galactic Grill.
That's true. I feel like a lot of people don't give Galactic Grill has stepped up their game.
Yeah.
And their hamburger, they always have like a little special hamburger. I just had a little spicy one last time I was there. I love their hamburgers, and so I don't get me wrong. The Hungry Bear Restaurant's great, but if I want a hamburger, it's Galactic Grill.
So I thought, what if we rethemed Hungry Bear Restaurant into a character dining experience.
Okay.
And made a delicious sit-down Asian fusion restaurant.
Okay.
Where they can offer the wonderful tastes of China, Thailand, anywhere, India, and have meet and greet characters with Mulan and Mushu, with Raya and Sisu, and create a beautiful experience.
All right, I like where you're at, but I'm gonna just try to modify this.
Yes,
because I don't think that's gonna fit where the country bear
I know
is.
that was my next concern.
Oh, do you have I think you should not put it there.
Mm-hmm.
I think you lift that idea. Okay,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna carefully lift up your idea, and we're gonna move it over to Disney California
Yes.
Adventure. And what is that? Paradise Pier? Not the Paradise
Gardens. Yes.
Paradise Gardens. They have like a little restaurants down there. It's
Yes.
past Goofy's flight school, and there's some restaurants down there. You put it there.
Yes, that was my next question, and I wanted you.
Your next question.
Well, my next concern. I wanted all of you to kind of put your input too. If you changed Hungry Bear Restaurant, I feel like you would need to change the Winnie the Pooh ride, and you would need to change Pooh's Corner. There's just a lot going on there. So if you did Paradise Gardens, you could start fresh, but I wouldn't want it a take and go, because Paradise Gardens right now, you just take your food, sit down, and eat it. I want this an experience.
Because you want this good Asian food. You want some good noodles. You want
noodles, Thai
rice.
fried rice, mango sticky rice.
I see where you're going.
Mango smoothies. Okay. I want coconut curry. I want it delicious.
Pad Thai.
Yes, and you can get kind of that grab and go fast service from Pacific Wharf. Let's do an amazing sit down character dining experience with Asian fusion.
Okay, and you're talking foods. So you'd have Mulan.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have Mushu.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have Raya.
Mm-hmm.
And Sisu.
Yes.
I love it.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
I think you're doing really good. I was a little worried when you had it at Hungry Bear. I was like, I just don't think that's right, because it doesn't fit the flavor of what you got there. But if you pop it over to DCA, I think it's a great idea.
I know. I would love it. And that is something that I feel like is doable. I feel like Paradise Gardens, that could be changed. That's something that's doable. And it would drive a lot of traffic down to that end of Disney California Adventure.
I love it. All right, so here's what I was thinking.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, you already kind of talked about it. It makes you a little, I feel like I'm always just coming second. Whatever. But I wanted to do Emperor's New Groove roller coaster, okay? But I wanted it in Adventureland, because I felt like that's kind of where it would go, is in Adventureland. Now, hear me out. There's not a lot of land in Adventureland. I get it. But right past... You know where the Tarzan's treehouse was, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, right. If you walk right past it and go left, hard left, right before you get into New Orleans Square, there's a little area there, right? There's a little walkway there. That's where the cast members come in and out, whatever. That is going to be the beginning, the entrance. Okay, and you're gonna have to walk down a long queue, sort of what you had to do for Indiana Jones, right? To take you pretty far down, and then you're gonna have a roller coaster, and the roller coaster is going to be an elevated roller coaster up high. It's going to go over the Jungle Cruise, okay? You know the island, we go around like an island. They have support struts on that island there, so that it's going to go over Jungle Cruise by Indiana Jones, down the river, the Jungle Cruise in there, and it's the Emperor's New Groove, the roller coaster. It'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
And it's a great adventure. It would be something else in Adventureland too.
Yes, but would it take away the feeling that you get when you're on Jungle Cruise?
I always thought about that.
If you see a roller coaster go above your head.
All right, so we're doing wishes. You could actually maybe put it in like a clear circular case to do sound baffling, so you could see it, but you couldn't hear people screaming.
Oh boy,
is it too much?
It might be. We might be getting a little too crazy with that.
That was a bad wish.
But I mean, I love that idea. So why don't we just put it in our villains land and have it be themed around Yzma and Kronk, the villains? That would work.
My ideas just never work.
No.
So I can't believe that. It would work. I guess it would work. So. Anyways, those were my wishes.
I love it. It's fantastic.
Tron.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody told me this one time. They're like, they thought that Autopia, and I actually even told this to the Disney Imagineer, and they just like looked at me like, Chris, Autopia should be turned into Sugar Race from Sugar Rush. Thank you. Sugar Rush from Wreck-It Ralph. I think people are like, well, how would you theme that to being Tomorrowland? It's in a video game. I think you could tie that there and have all the little cars there that are like, and you have like little, it'd be kind of fun, right? Kind of fun. And I think you have like one path, like, there's two paths side by side, right? That you go on each side.
Right.
Well, I think you get a one, and like they pull like a lever, you could end up moving back and forth between the two different pathways, and you're racing. It would be fun. Sugar Rush, you get power ups.
I just worry if
virtual. They could do virtual.
Autopia.
They could do virtual reality. You could wear like special glasses and everything, because that's what they do for the Mario. You wear different glasses, so you see like fruit and candy canes and sugar
cute.
while you're racing. It'd be pretty good.
That's cute. That's cute. I wonder if people would accept that or if they would reject it, because you're removing Autopia.
They'd accept it.
They'd accept it.
Yeah. Only like 4 people in the world would be upset. Me and 3 other people about Autopia, but it's my idea, so there's only 3 people who would be upset. So I think they'd accept that.
You know, it would be cool if they created a new arcade, like redid a really cool arcade, and then themed it for Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. Going way back, most people don't remember this, but when Tron came out 10 years ago, the Tron Legacy, they had, it might have been 12 years now, I can't remember, but they turned on Disney California Adventure in the Hollywood studios, they turned it into Electronica.
Yes, I loved that.
Was the greatest ever. They ended up turning into Alice's Mad Tea Party later on. That was the genesis for that, was the Electronica. But they had, right now they have the Captain Marvel plane back there. They turned that into Flynn's Arcade. It was one of the funnest things. You go in there and play. They have all the 80s. They had all the 80s music going, 80s arcade games going, and they had like light shows and like the speed cycles. I wish Disney would just bring it back. Come on, just bring Electronica back. They had that guy who did like the laser dances.
Yes.
It was amazing.
I remember
being
amazing.
Yeah, it was the arcade. You talked about the arcade.
Right. So would you rather a Flynn's Arcade or Wreck-It Ralph style?
Flynn's. Oh yeah, you got to go Flynn's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flynn's in Tomorrowland?
Yeah, Flynn's. I don't know where you put it. Yeah, you could do. No. The problem with Tomorrowland is they have that Starcade neon sign.
Right.
I don't think they could ever take it down. It's so cool.
Right.
So I could say Flynn's Starcade. That would work. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. Well, I want to hear what you would do at Disneyland. Anything. Let us know if you agree with us, disagree, what you would change. We would love to hear it. And one last thing before we go, if you haven't purchased our Provost Park Pass merch, we have merchandise for sale. We have anything that's fun themed shirts to just classic Provost Park Pass shirts. And that's a great way to support our channel and our podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, my name is Chris.
I'm Amanda.
And you're listening to the Provost Park Pass podcast. You guys are the very best. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye-bye.
This is the beginning of season 2.